Sandy Elder. I'm the Deputy Director at Tucson Water, and we're going to talk to you. We've got two great project managers, an engineer and a hydrogeologist, talking to you tonight about a project that we're doing on Houghton. The way here, just west of Savano. We're doing a recharge project, and it's going to have some park-like aspects to it, so I'm excited to explain that. Why don't I hold the board and you all talk? So why don't you introduce yourselves, and then we'll go from there.
Hi, I'm Dorothy Dolan. I'm a project engineer for Tucson Water, and Beth's going to start off our presentation, and we're going to tag team with the info.
So we really appreciate the opportunity to provide the Southeast Regional Council information on a new reclaim recharge project, the Southeast Houghton Area Recharge Project we call SHARP. SHARP Reservoir, which is located like 20 miles from the Sweetwater Reclaim Facility. We are just north of on Houghton, pretty much just west from Savano community, and the new light that's up there at Drexel, right at that intersection, is for SHARP. So this area was formerly used for mountain biking. Trails throughout Valencia. Mountain biking community since the planning stages of SHARP back in 2006. Currently, since 2016, we have been working with Mattamy Homes, the developer, for the new going up Sorrel Trails. I'm sure you guys have seen the sign for Sorrel Trails. So during this collaboration with Mattamy Homes, we've been looking at ways to minimize impacts for the trail system, with a lot of input from the mountain biking community. And so I'll let Dorothy talk about the plan that we have on here. She can talk about that part.
So most of you have seen the big crane at Houghton. Is in a reservoir. We're currently rehabilitating it and replacing the roof, and the facing will be adjacent to it. But backtracking a little bit, the water that comes to the reservoir comes from the Sweetwater facility, Princeton on 10. It's about 20 minutes. It's going to be the beauty of having a SHARP project. We're going to have a facility that the local school can get to. Before we jump into the three main components, which are recharging, providing an educational and recreational component. These are the three basins. As Beth said, access is going to be off of the newly extended Drexel. It's a dead end now until Mattamy phases their future development. We're off of the south of it. The parking lot will accommodate 3 school buses and 29 parking spaces, and it is intended to be open in the daytime. We're going to have an automated gate that shuts at dusk and opens at dawn, and accommodations so if people get locked in, say you have mountain bikers that leave the vehicle there and lose track of time, and in the winter the days are shorter, they'll be able to get out. Let's see, what else did I want to say? The vegetation. We are planning to plant, I think it's a little over 500 trees. A good portion of it is what we've salvaged from the area. I don't know if we mentioned that we own 40 acres. This is a 40-acre parcel. Beth had mentioned that the bike trails had been established for a long time. We're going to make sure that we keep the continuity through. We have 2 mountain bike trails that run through here and continue up to the Mattamy property and the Fantasy Island Park. The bike trails are let me think. We have about 3,100 linear feet of bike trails that go through here. The paths that go around the basins and tie over here to the vacant property that someday might be developed into the greenway is about 106 miles, and about half of it is ADA compliant. And that portion of it, we made sure that someone can park here at the parking lot and access this entire basin, go to the central Ramada, which is where we anticipate we're going to have the classrooms come do all the educational school trips. You can come here, ADA access, and come to the center Ramada and get an overview of all the basins. And the non-paved paths give you more of a view of the other parts of the basins and the vegetation that we planted. We really think it's going to be a great opportunity for folks that want to see wildlife, the Audubon Society, trail runners, photographers. Pardon me? Yes, and we envision the WET program expanding to here. One of the things that, oh no, I'm talking too much. I need to turn it over to you, the recharge. I had mentioned
I
the
really
basins,
apologize because
basins.
we had a PowerPoint presentation already, and then
Yeah,
we
there's like,
found we
this
couldn't use
slide
it,
says
and we
this,
had
and
grabbed
slide
this
says
without
that.
realizing we
Yeah.
would use it. So
So
I
we're really
apologize
doing
if it's we're a little rough.
But one
But-
thing, before I
But I want to back
before
up
I give
to
it to Beth, the last thing, each basin's about 2 acres in size, and they're 6 feet deep, 3-to-1 side slopes. There's going to be perimeter fencing, the wire fencing, 5-strand to protect it. So it's more like a viewing of the basins. But we're only going to have about 2 feet of water that we're going to recharge. And that's where I turn it over to Beth because she's the expert on the recharge.
I want to just back up for a second and just say that this will be a multi-beneficial project with 3 main components, and one primarily is to replenish the aquifer through recharge, and the second and third one is recreational and educational components for the community.
And for us. We'll be
Yes.
able to, we're going to do a lot of different water harvesting features. But, oh, I'm sorry, that's your
Okay, so first of all, we're going to have 3 ramadas, one at the entrance plaza at the parking lot. We'll have informational, and then one in the middle, which will be kind of set up high, and you can look over at all the basins as they're filling, and then one on the edge there.
This is the one that the bikers can come access when they're going through the Fantasy Island Parkway.
Yes. So we're going to also have a demonstration site for rainwater harvesting. So you can come and kind of look to see how we do that. We'll be harvesting rainwater off of 2 of the 3 reservoir roofs, or the Ramada roof. And then we're also going to be harvesting rainwater off the reservoir roof. And it's going to be routed down through a stream feature into a rainwater collection basin, which will have dry well. In total, we'll have like 3 dry wells, 1 near the parking lot, and 2 in the recharge areas.
So,
Do you want to talk more about it?
so with all the different water harvesting components that we have, the rain barrels with the tanks, and then the dry wells down below, and all the vegetation that it's going to water, there's going to be great hands-on opportunities for the children to have field classes out there. And let's see. Oh, no, I was saving that for last.
Okay.
Because oh yes, the
So-
volume, the recharge.
Yeah. So we're
Yeah.
permitted to recharge up to 4,000 acres per year, acre feet of water per year. If you're wondering how much an acre foot is, a good way to think of it is, with the Super Bowl coming up, if you have a football field and you put a foot of water on top, that's close to an acre foot of water, 4,000 times. We will be operating the basins when demands, our reclaimed customer demands are low, so that will typically be October through March. So sometimes when you come out, there's going to be water in all the basins, and other times they're going to be dry. And groundwater in this 350 feet to groundwater.
So backtracking again, we store water in the reservoir. It's going to be conveyed by gravity through pipelines, the basins that Beth had mentioned, percolate through the ground into the aquifer. And time frame, we completed the plans, our consultant completed the plans in October. It's still in the building permit review process, and we're really hoping to have building permits within the next 2 weeks. So that would mean you'd see excavation activity out there spring through summer, and hopefully by next February we'd have it completed and opened. So we'd be glad to come back during construction to give you an update, or when it's
Yeah.
done, and we'll make sure and have the PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah. Well, sure.
Well, since it won't have water full time,
Yeah.
it
So
shouldn't
we
have that issue. But our staffing is really keen on keeping
we have a
being
program in
vigilant on that.
place
Yeah.
for monitoring mosquitoes, and we've already started monitoring out here. So we'll continue monitoring, but so far there's not an issue. When we went out there, we had done some pilot tests, and we did some infiltration studies, and we're looking at infiltration rates that are really high. There's a lot of gravels out in that area, and coarse sand. So over 10-foot infiltration a day is what we're looking at. So
We wouldn't have standing water
yeah,
as likely. One more thing before we take questions. Beth's been working really hard outside of work on a volunteer basis to bring some public art component to this. So if you want to tell me
Oh.
more about that.
so it's a volunteer effort. We're trying to get funding and to put together the public art team and have a Ben's Bell mural. And the Ben's Bell's mural would have water and some education themes in addition to the Be Kind. And I noticed coming in here that the school also has a nice mural.
So far, Beth's been able to round up enough money for a 5 by 7 foot wall. And so hopefully by the time the project's done, it'll have the murals that she has envisioned. So again, we'll be glad to come back with another update. And if you have any questions, we'll try to answer them.